Good morning. I'm actually just getting up, just waking up. Well, I've been up maybe now for a half an hour. I was just thinking and was watching a video about flat earth and Jesus. Do you ever ask yourself these questions? I have a question this morning. I've been having this question actually for a couple of days. And also my videos for the past 2 weeks have been, at least I felt in my body, a little strained, a little stressed. My head is hurting right now actually. And I think that might be due to my going out yesterday. I was just out and about getting things. I understand it might be another storm coming. What's that? September 11 actually. A category 5 is headed towards New York City. So I went out to get several gallons of water, some dried foods. I bought nuts, raisins, things, that aren't as perishable. So if electricity goes out, I'm able to still drink water and have some food to eat. So my mind, I'm just really thinking about things. I feel so, I don't know. I've been on YouTube now for several years. And this channel that I'm on, Spirit Journey, it's been around for, what's that, maybe three years about, or even 4. And prior to that, I had another channel. It's still up, my other channel, called Black Warning. See, I initially started doing my YouTube with the Black community in mind. And as I shared in earlier videos why I stopped for a couple of years putting up videos, because I thought the Black community was, in its behavior, not making any sense, doing things that are illogical. And I explained, like with V. Stiviano, a woman who had, what's that now? She audio taped her boss, who's the owner of this famous basketball team in California, and he gave a rant about being anti-Black. And I think, in short, I think she was really setting him up, and she eventually had to give back all the property, things that he had given her, because this man is actually married to someone else. Here's my little doggy right here. Well, so I stopped doing that channel, but maybe once in a blue moon I might have something on it. But basically I shut it down by, not loading up any videos. But it's an open channel. It's still an active channel in the sense that anyone who finds any of the videos on that channel could watch it freely. And then I started focusing on the spirituality because I was starting to think about what else is there in this world. And my spiritual beliefs were being challenged. But slowly, I had stopped going to church in 2013, as I mentioned in earlier videos. And I started challenging my belief systems by asking myself questions. So I've been also asking myself, even with the first channel, Black Warning, where are all the Black people on YouTube? And so I had to physically, I have to back up a little bit, that at one time I was a Christian, and I was I was going to church at one point. I started going back to church, I think in 2011. Yes, around 2011. I had resumed going back to church, Protestant denominations, and I started asking myself questions like, how come I don't find black people on YouTube? So I had to, because, I'm sorry, I keep going back and forth. Well, my being a Christian, I was into what they call Bible prophecy. That's all that I really watched, Bible prophecy, because I thought that's all that's really remaining in the Christianity religion, because isn't Jesus supposed to come back? And that's the whole thing with Christianity, that Jesus is coming back, he's going to save us, and then we go to heaven and we feel good forever. So that's all my focus was on. And I noticed that all the topics, all the people on YouTube regarding this Christianity were all white men, and middle age, like 40s, 60s range. And then I said, wow, how come I don't see any black people on this topic, Bible prophecy? So that's when I actively started to try to seek out YouTube channels of black people. But it was everything on YouTube, if I click on it, everything was predominantly white men. And it's like, wow, I live in a world, you think my world is just white. And even in my physical life, everywhere that I seem to go, let's say jobs, going to department stores, everybody was white. And I think I even started to think that I was a white person, But having this brown skin, but just a dark skin, get this, a dark-skinned white person. I kid you not. And I'm being honest, because I know if this happened to me, it's happening to other people of color. So I had to physically type in on YouTube a search, black people, and might have put in some other keywords, whatever, just to try to jump out of the matrix of whiteness to find anybody of color, anybody outside of white people. I mean, I would have been fine if it was Asian people, or, just somebody different. And some of the things I saw was pejoratives about American blacks. I said, I don't want to see that. And then I think the next thing I saw was, because at one point I was still in the Christianity, but I was thinking about Judaism. And I found something with what they call the Hebrew Israelites. Somehow I found that. And so I started watching them. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I've never been that. But I was at one time interested in Orthodox Judaism. So I started watching some of the videos, and that's when I met this one YouTuber, a female, and I was following her for a couple of years and watched her progression. She was a Jehovah's Witness, and I've never been in the Jehovah's Witness, but I just found her interesting. And I think, again, I was fascinated because she was a woman of color. It turned out she was also from New York City, and just some similarities in appearances. So I gravitated towards her. And then it was that YouTuber that really got me to think outside of the box, at least try to think outside of the box. And that's when things really started changing for me regarding my paradigm system. So fast forward now, in 2017. I've, since back then till now, I've done meditation, and I started seeing things like geometric shapes. I saw myself standing, looking back at me in a meditation, 3D. It was all 3D. I've done ayahuasca. That's what they call this plant medicine. I've done it here in the States in a religious ceremony about 4 or 5 times. And I have a playlist for those people who want to watch videos about my experiences doing the ayahuasca. And let's see what else. Yeah, just things that are different that I was raised in to challenge those systems, because in my Christianity days, I would never do those things. I would never meditate or do any chemicals like ayahuasca. That was considered taboo. I also tried the tarot cards, all these other things, So I've been watching so many videos on new topics. One of them such like the flat earth. What else? About human consciousness. Yes, that was a big one for about a year and a half now, about human consciousness. What is consciousness? And again, my doing the meditation had me think. Now, I've always been in this consciousness, I feel, I also tried to explore what they call astral projection. I was not able to successfully do that, but I think I almost did it once consciously. And I think it scared me. It didn't. And I don't do the exercises anymore, really. I think I'm afraid, in a nutshell. So now I notice my going on YouTube, it's like I feel like I'm just searching and not sure what I'm searching for. And it's like a standstill. I have tons of books that I'm not reading anymore, things that I was meaning to read, I should say. And I want to get back into it. So I sense that there's a wall, a resistance coming from me, within me. And now I feel like it's almost like I'm walking in circles. And it's a very unsettling feeling. It's really awful. I do try to go out and be in nature. That helps tremendously. If you just forget about your problems and just walk in nature. I do love nature. So, what is this video about now? Well, as I mentioned, I feel like I'm kind of just going around in circles. It's a wall that I'm hitting against. And I see that, again, the videos I'm watching is all white people again, and all mostly white men. A lot of these people are from Britain, I notice. Like the things that I seem to be watching now on YouTube that I'm interested in is again about paranormal, about human consciousness again. What else? Yeah, all that genre. And I guess conspiracy, the whole gamut. And again, it's all white men, mostly. And the video that I was just watching today was a white British woman. So now the frustration is coming back. Why, as a woman of color in North America, why I'm not finding other women of color who are interested in these paranormal events? One thing that when you do find black people on YouTube, their focus is on Egyptology, about having melanin and how spiritual we are. And what else? Yeah, that's basically it. Or it's about, the hair beauty, skin beauty, things like that. But nothing really deep in conversation. But I did meet once on YouTube this one woman who she questioned certain things, but she no longer puts up videos. I thought her videos were fantastic. She's in her, I think, early 60s by now, but she was fantastic. Her channel name is Etta Neal 56. I think that she was 56 when she started the video, and her videos are fantastic. It really gets you to think outside of the box, and I haven't seen any videos of her anymore. So when it seems like when we start up these videos that want to get outside of the box, we stop doing the videos, and I wonder where she is and where are the others who are in the same genre. And again, it's nothing, I don't want to sound like I'm beating up on blacks about what they're interested in. You have a right to what you're interested in. But I think life is, there are more things in life than talking about having Native American background. Like one video I put up was really to challenge us, our thinking and rationality about what we're calling ourselves. Now we want to call ourselves Indian, that we're black Indians. Even though we live in a black community, we do black things, if that makes any sense. The style of music, the clothing, how we speak, everything. And so my doing the video about the Black and Native American challenge, I have a lot of comments on that video, a lot of hostility. And my doing the video was not to engage in this conversation of what you want to call yourself, a Native American, or all these semantics behind the label of Indian or Native. I don't want to get into it. What I want to get into, and the whole point of my doing that video, is not to challenge someone's DNA. Your DNA is your DNA. Embrace what you are and what you do, and of course, to support where you live. If you live in an Indian reservation, support that Indian reservation. If you're in a black neighborhood, support that black neighborhood. Love yourself. Care for where you live. That's what I'm saying, regardless of your DNA. So, again, I have this new awareness now, and I'm noticing, again, that these videos that I see now, everybody is, again, Caucasian, and a lot of people from Britain. And I think with the racial climate, was starting to also affect me, my anger and my awareness of what's, again, happening to black people in America. So now I'm starting thinking, hey, I gotta calm down. I don't want to be a so-called racist or bigot against other groups, but you should always care about the group that you live in, regardless what label or how you want to call yourself. So I'm wondering what's happening again, and how come we're not exposed to or exposing ourselves to, like with CERNS, CERNS, that's this facility over in Switzerland. It's some type of portal or something. Why we're not interested in these the outer bodies or the extraterrestrial, all these new genres, and they all seem to be connected on YouTube. I only met on YouTube one black fellow. I forget his name, but he's probably like in his late 30s, 40s. I'm not sure, but he seems like a really nice black fellow from the States, and he talks about his experiences with his ET experiences. And he's very unique of the community. I've seen him on other people's channel, as a guest speaker, and he's usually the only black person. So again, he kind of reminds me of myself, the first time I heard of him, it was just an audio tape of him speaking. And I felt like interested in what he had to say, not knowing that he's a black person. And then when I see him in a video and see what he looks like, I said, wow, okay, that's why I might have felt a connection with him, even though it was just an audio of him. I think I might have sensed that maybe he was a man of color, if that makes sense. We all have different accents if you come from North America, and many of us have certain ways of talking, and with how we talk, usually a demographics, and within that demographics, a particular racial group or nationality. You know what I'm getting at? So I'm wondering if we're so spiritual, if we're the head, the original race, all these things that I'm hearing about us, how come we're not in the upfront in these discussions? How come we are not guest speakers on these other people's channels? How come, like, all these white people, even young white people, are experts at the topic they're talking about? This one young man, he talked about his being raised in Florida. He's a Floridian, a white Floridian, and his paranormal experiences with astral travel during sleep, other things with sleep. What do you call it when you're dreaming but you're aware that you're dreaming? Things like that, and synchronicities at such a young age, and how he mother gave him $10 at age 17, and he went hitchhiking and exploring his new world as a young adult. And I never hear things like that. I found him fascinating. He was easy to follow, and his thought process was very just well organized in his thinking. So what he talked about made a lot of sense. And I thought it was interesting that he had siblings. And he mentioned that his siblings, they worked for the NSA. I'm not sure whether the other one worked for the CIA, but those are all top agencies, government agencies. And I started thinking again, how come you don't hear any black people or any nationality outside of white people who work for the NSA, who CIA, all these things. So it seems like our lives are being compartmentalized. That is not by chance. It's not by chance that this white fellow had all these paranormal experiences at such a young age, all these synchronicities, and that his family members work in top government agencies. It's not happening in my family. We're just regular people. They have their 9-to-5 job and they go home. Nothing. So, again, if all things are equal, how come our lives aren't equal, and the things that we experience as being equal? Why? Why with the social justice warriors? Why are these predominantly all white people? And now they dress in all black though, but they don't want people to see their face. And then they're supposed to be representing black people, but they're not getting black people in these organizations. Why? Why is this? Why aren't we in these government jobs? How come we're not discussing these other topics that these white people are talking about? Now, I don't want to sound like, just want to follow along other people, but it's just to open up our awareness that how are these people becoming experts at, it seems like, any topic. any paranormal topic, religious topic, and anything, science, and you just see white, usually just white men. And once in a while, you see a white female. And I want to understand how to get out of this matrix of feeling like you're being held back socially. And it doesn't matter how well you speak, the clothes you wear. It's like YouTube is compartmentalizing people in categories, and only certain types of people will see your video. Same thing as I mentioned about Facebook. All things being equal, what type of people do they have attached to your Facebook page? Who they recommend for you? If the whole world is all one through the internet or the cyber world, I see that the cyber world is the same as this physical world that I live in, that you are attached to live in a certain geography, to have certain neighbors, to have certain jobs, lifestyle, thinking process. You have some people, the only thing that they experience is pain, homelessness, drug addiction. And it's just very prominent and very specific according to what you are, rather than who you are. But yes, in life, you're going to have any group that could fall into poverty, pain, those negative energies, any one of us could fall into it. And I've seen that as well. So what's going on? So this is just food for thought. I know that this discussion is kind of nebulous. It's not on one specific thing, but it's just to get you aware that in this world, we're being placed to, I think, meet who we meet, experience what we experience, and it's not by chance, period. So please, you can comment below, and to share your input or suggestions how to go beyond just our physical experiences. That yes, it's a broader world out there, and how to have those access to outside of our comfort zones. So take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye, guys.